Right, what's going on, everybody? We're live here. Cruz eating some leftovers from
Oh yeah, don't
Easter.
mind me.
I hope everyone had a good Easter. I know I did. Had a fun time with the fam, things like that, and back into the swing of things this week as Cruz and I try to figure out what some intermediary travel situations going
Oh
to be.
yeah, absolutely. I actually got a. You ever go on that site, Lonely Planet, at all?
Oh yeah, yeah. Back in the day, that was, or I still do it. I still use their
Yeah,
travel
they're
books.
they're really good. Like they don't necessarily give you all like just the tourist kind of vibe and everything. They actually go pretty in depth and give you a lot of like good stuff off the beaten path and everything. So my dad and his wife, they actually I just got it. Apparently they had mailed it to me when I was down in Austin. I didn't know about it. Well, I knew about it that it was coming, but for some reason they never at the front desk they never told me that I got a package. Maybe it's my fault. I should have gone down and checked on it, but they had said they were sending something. It kind of slipped my mind. I didn't check it. Long story short, I called them. They found it. They sent it to me. But they still like buying books, which I still love actually buying books. But they got me the Lonely Planet Puerto Rico.
All right, yeah, nice.
Yeah, it just I haven't had a chance to actually go through, but it just has a listing of just an absolute, wild amount of stuff everywhere, all the beaches, all the locations, just like a ton of stuff. So I'll probably at night this week, just laying in bed, relax, decompress, get away from the screen some time, and just go through and read that book and everything. So,
You know,
um,
for an island, it's their biodiversity is actually it's pretty large. You can go like the northern half of the island, because it's kind of like shaped like a pill, or
yeah,
kind of like a rectangle. But on the northern part, because the middle part of uh, the middle part of the island is broken up into there's a mountain range that split the north from the south area. And the north is tropical and the south is dry.
yeah. I
And
want to say they actually hold some type of thing for like the most different types of like ecosystems on the island or something. It's something crazy because they have like a dry rainforest or something. There's some odd thing that they have that's like
in in
not found anywhere else either.
in Guanica, I did a small little hiking trip there, and there's actually caves in that area. It's in southwestern part. I absolutely love That's one of the like most beautiful things about it, is that you don't have to go very far at all to check out
No,
different places.
no, because I mean you can drive around the island in a less than a day.
Yeah.
Around the whole edge and everything. So apologies to anybody that I'm eating, but when I'm on a particular eating schedule and I need to get this in. Otherwise I'll be hangry. So
Well, you know what it is. It's real life, because it's live. The production has to be kind of within the
we're
flow
just
of.
gonna we're just gonna keep it rolling. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what's going on, where we're at, just keep it rolling.
Yeah, and I was telling Cruz earlier. I mean, I had a meeting last night. A portion of it, I was talking with a person at night. We ended up going until 3 in the morning, so I didn't get back until 3:30. So I was just
Mm.
wiped. I was wiped out today. I woke up a little bit later than usual, but it just really messes you up, um, especially like just ending the day. You know, like I literally got back. I um, brushed my teeth, washed my face, and then went to bed. There was no decompression. It was just go to bed.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for this book. One of the biggest things that I know you're on the screen and everybody else there, and this is whether you're traveling, not traveling, whatever it is, especially nowadays, like you're on the computer all day. Say is the end of the day, maybe you go work out, you do something for a little bit, and then you go to like decompress. And what do? You end up being in front of the screen again, whether it's the TV or messing around on the computer yourself or on the phone. Just like there's never that chunk of time where you're like, I just don't. So I'm actually excited to just relax and sit and read that book. No screens, no nothing for the next, couple nights and go through that because I mean that's what I do, right? Like after work, you jump back on the computer, you throw the TV on and everything. And it's just like too much nowadays. You couple that with being stuck inside, you're driving yourself crazy. That's why we do this, talking about, you need to get out there. You need to find other stuff to do, whatever it is. For us, it's traveling, but you need to find something for yourself that lets you relax a little bit.
Yeah, and I think one of the good things too, since we're looking at Puerto Rico, is that it's a U.S. territory. So one of the things about it is that if someone wants to go to a place that has a different culture, that's not too far from home, and there's not high risk involved with traveling in regards to being in a foreign country and things like that, where you might get stuck. I actually heard of one of my brother-in-law's coworkers is stuck right now in in Dubai because the person's fiance can't go back to their own country because the borders are closed. In regards to
Oh,
the,
wow.
this whole pandemic thing. Yeah, so can't go back to work, can't work. So I don't know. So this might be a good thing to talk about. If so, one of the things that I've experienced uh, being out in Ecuador is that if you're going to do any serious traveling or doing something for a long period of time, if you're trying to log into any type of server that belongs to like the U.S. government or to check on an account, like your license and stuff like that, for a U.S. license, you're not going to be able to access it.
No, those IP addresses are going to be blocked.
So just kind of keep that in mind when you guys are traveling. It's something that does pop up. It's happened to me. One of the things that I couldn't do um, last year was I couldn't log into my car insurance for the motor
Hmm.
registry of motor vehicles, and um, I couldn't make any changes because of that. So it's one
Yeah,
of those
there's some
things.
IP bans.
So a lot of people, might not be well aware of that, but take those things into consideration. And then also, if you are in a different place, if there is, some type of classified information that the place that you work at has, like you might run into the same issue with the IP addresses because when your computer connects to this remote server that's in the U.S. that's part of some company's classified
Yeah.
documentation, you're probably not going to be able to log in. Just kind of be aware of that, like
So for the simple ones, for like, if you want to access all your accounts, I had issues with certain accounts where like it kept trying to get me to like recreate my account when I was trying to log into a few things because it wasn't recognizing the correct IP. So how I was routing and everything, I was having issues when I was in Croatia
mm,
because of what it was recognizing as the IP, which, what I had at the time, there was no technical way around it for what I had. So you can obviously, like, there's VM services out there. Um, so if you're worried about that, it's a few bucks a month. You can purchase, have your VM, you can log into the VM, change your IP to a US IP address, and you'll be able to connect to base things. Of course, that's not going to cover you for well, I wouldn't recommend doing that for connecting to your work, for anything government related or anything like that. But for like your general accounts, you're gone for a long time, I need to, renew my insurance. I need to, update my registration, things you couldn't access, you can go that route, at least being able to, manage certain things back home. If you don't have anyone back here that can log in for you and everything.
yeah, even then too. I don't know if that's something that some people might not be interested with other people logging into their accounts, but just again, it's just one of those. It's just one of those situations where
Yeah, until you said it, I actually forgot about that when I was having that issue.
yeah.
Um,
Well, like I said, it's not something that pops up all the time, but then when it does happen, it's like, oh crap, I can't do anything. Um,
yep.
but luckily, to be honest, my insurance company they made the changes. I didn't get docked for it, but early on, I got bills for like, oh, was it late payments or whatever it was. They just kind of squelched everything. But again, just something to keep in mind. But overall, I would anticipate that a large majority of people are not going to have that type of issue unless they do end-to-end encryption. Um, the service might take longer. That could be of use. But again,
Yep.
there's there's just that part of it. But I think some place like Puerto Rico. Actually, I don't know what their IP address is in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico should end up counting as US IP addresses.
Yeah, I would presume so. But yeah, so Puerto Rico has, I mean, there's a lot of places that I wish I had the time to do previously, because there was, great scuba sites. There's like really white sand islands off of the East Coast. There's other, you know, different types of islands on the west. It's it's diverse. There's a diverse set of stuff that can be done over there, on top of just having delicious food like things like plantains.
Yeah. So one of the things when we're down there is we probably won't go over to Vieques, which is one of the bigger islands right off the East Coast, because, and this is only, I know this because I have family there. My sisters stay in touch back and forth. It wasn't that long ago. It was like last month that just because, certain people control certain things there, right? It's a territory. It's not a U.S. state. It's still, the U.S. Don't worry about it. Absolutely go there. But certain parties control certain things. And if you know people, you know people. You don't know people, you don't know people, if you get what I'm getting at. For no great reason at all, except something. They just shut down the boat service to Vieques for a couple weeks. Just the boat's not going there. The normal boat that goes back and forth a couple times a day, yeah, that boat's not going there anymore. So everybody that lived there couldn't go back and forth. Boat shut down. No travel back and forth. No ferry. So
that's kind of crazy, because it's
oh yeah, it just happened. Yep. Nope.
well,
no ferry. Good luck.
Well, at least it's good to know as far as traveling. It's like, oh, okay, well, we might have to skip on Vieques. So
and then some areas with the power grid and stuff, because it's all, it's privately controlled and everything. We'll say that sometimes power just gets shut off in locations for not a great rhyme or reason.
Part of the reason is because when the hurricane happened, a good majority of the infrastructure got destroyed. So some of the energy is just not going to reach certain places.
It's not connected, and then they may just say, you know what, we need power over here, and they will just, yep, this area is not running business or not as connected or whatever, and boom, yep, there goes your power off. Ding, done. So we'll just have to account to make sure that when we're staying, that we're in areas that may be much more likely to, keep said power and things like that.
All right, so
which I mean, we were planning anyways. We're talking about Ponce, Isabela, Rincon, San Juan, those kind of areas. So
yeah, I don't think we're gonna have too much of an issue. Like I said, I think certain instances, yeah, you might get intermittent energy, power. Maybe a lot of this stuff might happen at night. I know in Ecuador a few times, like power has gone out. Whether, like I said, I mean, when you go to other places, right, where their power grid is just not as established or not as updated, and again, because of the hurricane from previous years, uh, there's certain areas where there's no power at all. But overall, I mean, from my understanding, I mean, one of the things that they did was they brought over a lot of linemen and things like that. I think one of my buddies actually went out there and worked on some of the power grid stuff. And I mean, it's going to be a work in progress. You know what I mean? It's one of those. It's one of those things. And if anyone's, I guess maybe what we're talking about is, if anyone's expecting to see infrastructure that's similar to the U.S., I would, kind of change those expectations.
It's going to be a little different.
Yeah, it's going to be a little different. But I mean, you've been there, I've been there, so
generally speaking, it's absolutely fine. There's really, really no issue. It's just these are little things that actually do happen.
Yeah.
And if you know someone, you may happen to get your power back quicker, or keep your power on more often. than other people.
That'd be good to find
Just
someone with
it's
a
just the
generator.
way it's just the way it works there. It just is. Right?
Well, I think the good thing is because laptops have batteries. I think we got
Yeah.
at least some
Stay
level
stay charged up, put it on power saving mode.
of and then there might be a good idea to talk with several buddies that used to work in the solar power industry and get an idea of how much solar panels, rechargeable
How many
solar
solar
panels.
panels we got to bring with us just in case?
Well, remember crap, one of the people in
Mary
Peru,
Kate? No, not Mary Kate.
uh, Mary Mary Jane. Okay, it was a double name. Anyway,
No, it wasn't
I'm
Mary
having
Kate. I don't know. We'll skip that.
yeah
Something, something.
yeah. Um, she brought a solar panel to charge her phone. A small
Yeah.
small solar powered battery pack. And well, I mean a phone only needs 5 watts. So
I mean, I know it didn't fully charge it, but it gave her it definitely gave her some extra juice because she was using that thing a lot.
yeah,
She was taking a ton of pictures and stuff.
so I think that might be something that I'm actually gonna. I've been considering it for a while and trying to find at least a substantial amount of solar energy because we just need it has DC power. But something like the laptop is going to need some juice as well, but be able to charge all the different devices. Like I said, the laptop is probably going to be the one that draws the most. Um, Actually, I don't even know how much mine draws, but I want to say it's somewhere in the 100 to 200 watts, considering that it has a graphics card and processor. So um, that was one of the things. That was one of the things that uh, I was really aiming to look for was like a computer, an ARM computer, and
Mm-hmm.
I've taken into consideration the Apple M1, the new MacBook that runs on an ARM processor because it basically can be fully powered on 5 watts of electricity, which is
That's
which
pretty
is
low. Yeah.
that's that's a cell phone, and
Yeah, that's
supposedly
pretty low.
the performance is supposed to be pretty amazing. But
That's crazy, actually.
um, the only issue that I have with that is that because it's Apple, I kind of don't want to get um, too locked into the Apple ecosystem.
No, I mean, you're
Um,
just stuck with Apple. You get an Apple, it's all Apple.
yeah, and the one of the things I absolutely do not like about Apple phones connecting to a Windows computer is that it automatically makes a directory in the C drive, and you can't change the direction of where it goes. So if you have an extra hard drive on your computer, you can't point where it connects. It always connects
Mm-hmm.
to a specific spot. So
Yeah, you'd have to copy everything down, and you have to copy manually move. It's dumb.
yeah, so
Um,
that's part of the reason I don't even connect my. I mean, I have an older iPhone 6s, and I just don't connect it to my Windows computer specifically for that. Just
I
because,
connect it to my computer, but I always just say ignore this device. I don't have them synced up at all.
yeah. So again, a few things to think about, especially if people out there are Apple fans. I do like their phones for sure. Like if I were to get another phone, I would definitely get an iPhone. I think just reliability, performance, quality, I think really stands out. But as far as trying to connect an Apple phone to any other ecosystem or any other operating system, it's like it's a little bit of effort
Yeah,
that can't be avoided, unfortunately. Um, Whereas like I feel like Android has a lot more flexibility. Again, I like Android, but as a daily driver, I'm still sticking with iPhone. That's just my
I mean, I have an
you know
Apple, I have an iPhone. It's an iPhone, right? They're great. They're simple. I mean, it's an iPhone. Everybody has one, right?
yeah.
Um, but next up, traveling. Puerto Rico. We already talked about it a little bit. We planning to decide some stuff next week, you think? What are we
Uh,
thinking here?
yeah, next week um, I'll have more time because I have a meeting. This week is just too bonkers for me. like I said, 3 o'clock in the morning. And
Oh
actually,
yeah,
I haven't
absolutely.
even left the left the house yet because it's pretty bad, But
Yeah. I, I've been doing some research. The Airbnbs in San Juan are right in San Juan or right around San Juan. They're actually a little pricey. Not great prices in San Juan.
I'm surprised the prices are as high as they are.
Did you look? They were like way higher than I expected.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm surprised of where the price ranges are. You have to go kind of far to get
Yeah, we're talking
to
like
get.
monthly stays, like low end monthly stay being at least, and this is for like probably not even a play area that you really want to be. Um, Low end, I think, was around like 1,700 or something for some Airbnbs. Like they were way, way up there. Again, closer to, maybe a better spot or anything, you were getting into a couple thousand per month for the Airbnbs. I was surprised.
What you know what it is? Um, I've been a lot of people have been talking about Puerto Rico over the course of, like, I want to say since September. I've been seeing, at least on YouTube, like a lot of digital nomads and people wanting to go on vacation, you know, for I think the same kind of reasons that we were talking about. That because Puerto Rico is part of the U.S., they want to go to, to a tropical area, and all of a sudden there's a large influx of of people wanting to stay in Puerto Rico for an extended period of time.
So, not that we're changing this one, but I got a little info on another place. Similar style island. It's a volcanic island. Absolutely gorgeous. Spanish speaking.
Okay,
Okay. Tenerife,
I don't even know what that is.
the Canary Islands, my friend. The Canary Islands.
I'm open to to anything. I'm
Check
gonna.
it out. Tenerife there, that island, which is the large island, that town, and that area, there's been like this growing digital nomad community there. Really, really big growing digital nomad community there. I saw some pictures of the island. It's drop dead gorgeous. And you're getting the Airbnb prices over there are unreal. Like not Montanita cheap, but pretty close. Yeah, it's really been big on the Reddit digital nomad thread. Pat just sent it over to me earlier. Um, yeah, they've been getting a lot of hype, real stable with their infrastructure, building stuff up. Um, Gorgeous volcanic island. Yeah, Tenerife, owned by Spain, not part of the EU. Does not fall under the EU regulations. It's just a territory of Spain. It's not actually official member of the EU. From what I read, I could always be wrong. It's the internet.
That's so funny that you say that. Yep, you're absolutely right. We don't know if it's true.
But
All
yeah,
right.
no, he sent that over. I started perusing. I was like, I've never, like, I've heard of the Canary Islands, but I've never actually looked at them or heard about this specific place or anything about it. And I was like, how have I never heard of this place? Like, it looks pretty amazing.
It's Tenerife is literally a volcanic island.
It is a volcanic island. Yes, it is a literal yes. I know a lot of them are, but this one feels extra volcanic. If that makes any sense at all. Everybody just signed out like this guy's a moron. Trust me, if you look at it, you'll understand what I mean. It looks more volcanic, okay?
it I mean, it's literally like you have the, most of the settlements on the edges, and then there's just the volcano.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
It looks crazy. Absolutely wild.
That definitely looks like. All right. I, I'm digging this idea. Yo, this just hits different, you know. Like I said, it's just an island and a volcano. And
it it kind of hits different a little bit, right?
yeah, I wouldn't
It
mind
kind of
talking.
hits different.
Imagine what the view must be like at the top of that, where the volcano is. That's cool. That is really cool.
So it's the COVID CO is counting it as this.
We need to take any like shots or anything like that.
I just pulled up COVID duck control. All travelers arriving from high risk areas. Air C test must be taken within 72 hours. PCR blah blah blah. Document must contain at least the following travel. Other spot to get really solid as of March 8th. Persons coming from the following countries: Brazil, Botswana. We're not on the list. Colombia must complete a 10-day quarantine. All travelers Canary Islands are subject to the requirement of pre-departure negative COVID test, whatever. Must undergo a temperature check. Under lockdown. All shops open. Tourist attracts opens. Restaurants and bars are open with restrictions. I think with a test, I think we're in. There's a lot on the Digital Nomad forum too, on Reddit about it. I'll hit Pat up about it too. But if you look at those, so the only one issue that I'm going to have to tell my fam a little bit is I did mention to my dad and my sister that we're going to be in Puerto Rico, and they were planning to try and swing down while we were down there just to say hi. They were going to go and see some of my family over in Isabella, do some other stuff. It's fine. These are my travel plans. I can change it. I'm just going to have to, if we were to switch, we would have to explain it. But the like the
Yeah.
Airbnb price, yeah, it's fine. I'd be like, listen, how about you meet me over in the Canary Islands, perhaps? The 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 Airbnb prices when I looked over there at Tenerife, I think I still have it up. Were actually kind of top notch as far as like value for what you were getting and everything. Santa Cruz, yeah, let's see, a monthly stays. I did monthly stay May 1st to May 31st. Everybody enjoy. We're party searching real time. Hopefully you love this video. We'll see.
I'm trying to look to see if my Skyrim has the Canary Island. Forgetting.
Tenerife. Let me throw a couple filters on here. So I'm assuming Pat would absolutely get suckered in. So we'll do 3 bedrooms. Unless you want to snuggle up, which is fine. We can snuggle up.
Yeah, we're all. It just depends on who's going to be the big spoon, little
spoon. Flip a coin. Anybody else, you want to hear a funny? I don't. We'll say this here. Want to hear? So, have you ever used previously, prior life? Obviously, not now since you're a taken man. But have you ever used the Hinge app before?
No, but I love the name.
No. It's good. It's legit. It's like it's pretty upstanding. So I have my little Hinge account that I actually only started a few days ago. Because obviously going out around here is a little tough. I still like going out, meeting people, saying hi. So little app there. Big spoon, little spoon. I absolutely. So like, you got to say hi to these people. You got to say hi, introduce yourself, whatever. Maybe say something funny. One of the comments on there, because you answer like 3, you pick from like canned 3 questions and say whatever you want as far as your little profile. One of the questions is like, whatever, something, hang out with me, this, and it was like my ideal something, and they put their ideal was watching Netflix and cuddle up on the couch like some breadsticks in a basket. So I got a chuckle out of this. So my question was, are you the big breadstick or the little breadstick? I didn't get a response yet. Stupid.
Well, they should have responded. I'm kind of impressed if they didn't.
I felt that was a decent opener. I thought that was a home run. Yeah, I don't think it landed. It's all right.
But they put that breadstick, they put that breadstick in there. That was their fault.
So I'm just holy cow. I'm scrolling through some of these initial pictures. All look amazing. Three bedrooms ranging from about $900 a month to $1,500 a month. All over the island, all different places. Some 16, some 17, but that's for a 3-bedroom. So we're talking not a lot of dinero for a month.
No, that's totally totally.
Yeah, he sent me that earlier. I saw those pictures. I was like, this, like, don't get me wrong, Puerto Rico is amazing. There's so much to do there. Awesome. There was just something when I looked at these pictures, that the Tenerife pictures, they just, like you said it, they just hit different. There was just something about it. I was like, oh, this place seems kind of cool.
I mean, it's not even far from Western Africa.
No,
We'd be close to Morocco. And like if
no.
we,
And don't get me wrong, I'm not swimming that, but it's not far. It is closer. So, like, that island to the coast of Africa is closer than Cuba to Florida, which means we could probably build a raft and get over there and make it. Definitely.
Wilson, we could do like a Castaway.
So not changing any plans yet. All I'm saying is, in your downtime, take a little look. And if anybody out there, if you haven't heard about Tenerife, definitely building from what they're saying, they're building a big digital nomad community. It's gorgeous. A lot of different nightlife, a lot of stuff to see. They're building kind of this cool spot to try and bring people that want to stay there and bring in some money.
So here's a crazy thing. Not that I would recommend swimming this, but to get to Morocco, 100 miles from Tenerife.
Oh, I couldn't swim that, but a human absolutely could. There's humans out there that could easily swim that.
But that's
I couldn't.
That's from Tenerife, so it's actually much less. So it's literally like just passing a little. It's like driving. So in New Bedford, right? It's around 60 miles to get to Boston. It's literally just getting into New Hampshire if it was a drive. So that's not far at all. So if it was something that we so desired to that we wanted to jump over to Morocco or the Western Sahara, we could totally do it.
I mean, don't tempt me, but I mean, if we were already right there, I mean, I would swing by Morocco for a quick poke in, right? You kind of,
I mean, it's like I said, it's literally. I mean, it doesn't look like there's anything on the coast of.
It's like a 20-minute flight. It's like
yeah, like the coast is basically all desert from where I measured the 100 miles.
Oh yeah, because you just measured it to the Western Sahara. Yeah, we don't want to land there.
What if we just became Bedouins? just stayed in the.
I don't know how stable the power grid is in the middle of the Western Sahara. There's plenty of solar power. If you bring that solar power panel, we'll be fine.
Yeah, just start a whole like solar power farm on the western part of the Sahara.
The issue might just be the water.
It's kind of crazy to look at the map, and I've never looked at this part of the map before, but there's a road there, roads, but it's literally
on the western, going in the middle of the Sahara.
Yeah, but after that, there's like literally nothing. It looks like there's a bunch of deposits.
It looks like along that road, it looks like there is some topographical. It looks like there is some like water.
No, I think that's salt. I think that it dried up and then it turned to salt, or maybe when it rains, it collects water. I mean,
like I'm being serious. Like, is there a gas station on this road? Like, how do you get that far? This looks like this is in the middle of, honestly, movie style. I'm gonna die out here. Like, are there gas stations along the way? What's out here?
Well, it looks like there's, I don't know if it's a salt factory or lithium. Or, you know what I mean? Like you see kind of like these outposts they're not necessarily houses, but there's
And for anybody that missed it, we're zoomed in because we're randomly started talking about the Canary, about maybe sneaking over there after I mentioned it. And now we're perusing.
uh-oh. We I gotta stop
Road.
you.
What is it? N14. Like the road N14 is going into the middle of nowhere. N15 goes south and just stops. Okay. And then there's another random road that connects. I don't know how you get between those two highways. Is there something? I don't know. Do you just leave your car and pick up another car on the other side?
I'll tell you what, if you take these roads, you got to be committed.
You better know what you're doing out here. I feel like we're bringing like enough gasoline or enough petrol to cover
Food,
at least 5,000 miles. Like we're just
food,
bringing a gas truck.
yeah, food, petrol. I mean, you got to everything. Like that's straight survival. Wow, that's intense. Like if you just look at the roads, there's not a lot there.
No, there is nothing there.
All right, let's get back to
Yeah. Everybody's like, what? For the couple viewers we got out there, you're always like, what are these two doing? I don't know. We got distracted, but this is actually interesting. Take a look at it. But more importantly, if you've never heard of it, I'm sure you've probably heard of the Canary Islands. Check out Tenerife. We are currently inspecting possibilities as I've planted a bit of a seed into Phil's head.
Is there is there a visa requirement?
I don't know. I didn't get down that far down that path. Tenerife visa. Oh no, it's owned by Spain. Oh well, here's an updated thing. As part of Spain, Tenerife is subject to the Schengen Agreement, which mandates that European countries automatically grant U.S. citizens a 90-day tourist visa upon entry. Your passport is stamped upon arrival. 3-month visa period begins.
Yo, so
we'd use up 3 months out of our Schengen for this year, or whatever. We'd use up portion of our 3 months of Schengen visit for the year.
So you should try this. Anyone that's watching right now, right? Go to the Canary Islands. Go to Tenerife, and then put it in 3D view, right? And then
entertain them for 1 second. I'll be right back.
And then go to the summit of the Mount Telde, or Telde, Tied. Sorry, I can't read that. My vision's really bad. But if you use the 3D maps, right, and you scroll through, you can kind of get a sense of like what the view is like from that summit. Now imagine that view in real life. Oh my goodness! Like just getting a view of the cityscapes, and actually the 3D view of this. Yo, honestly, this would be really awesome to see.
Dude, it's sick, right?
Yeah, just getting on the summit of the volcano, and then
what'd you switch to? Satellite view?
Yeah, switch to satellite view, and then do 3D, and then you can switch to kind of
enable globe view and switch to. All right, I'm in 3D.
Yeah. So anyone who's not familiar with the controls, it's shift and the left mouse button, and then you can switch it to 3D, or switch it so that you can change perspective. And it's basically a 3D scan called photogrammetry to capture the textures of the earth. You can get a sense of like
you gotta it's control. For me, it's control mouse drag to rotate it.
Yeah, mine is shift. So okay, it's different for everybody, but you guys should definitely check this out. But I mean, that's just to view something like that in real life. If you can get to that summit, man, that'd just be
okay. If there's a chance of Tenerife, here we come.
That's. I mean, even like a weekend hiking trip. You know what I mean? Like starting, they gotta have like some type of. Oh no, they got Pico Viejo vantage point, so it looks like they do have some they might have like some excursions that can be done. I mean, this looks fun, honestly. Just for the volcano alone. Never mind, the cheap prices and things like that, which obviously is an attractive aspect about it. But having options of activities to do, like things like this. I mean, if you're into hiking, I mean, I don't know what the height is of that summit, but that just looks really cool. And even being able to see it you know, from a lower elevation.
did I, did I completely with this random thing? Did I completely blow up what you were thinking already?
I mean, like I said, it just like the landscape itself is just weird. It's different.
It's a really cool place. Just
They have kind of that looks like a very dry or mostly dry kind of setting, which I typically like. So if it's hot, you know what I mean. You don't get that muggy heat that just saps the life out of you. You know what I mean. This one's
just the
more.
topographical, just like the satellite topographical view of the place looks crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and even skipping over to the other islands. Well, it actually doesn't look like a lot of it. Oh no, there is one or two houses in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you have just weekend jumps and going to some of these places, there's got to be some banging, banging surf areas. That's
Considering you just hung out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean there.
Yeah, because I'm looking at like some of the coastal areas, if there's any like
Oh, you can see some of
some
this. There's
foam.
got to be some waves that start breaking over that stuff. If you're looking at the topograph of the like satellite image, you can see all the reefs along it, right?
Yeah. Well, all I need is like sandbars. If there's a sandbar, if there's some solid piece that forces the water to jump up, that'll help with waves. Not that I want some crazy waves, beginner surfer, but when you can go out, when you can finish the day or start the day because we're on the east, we're very far east, right? Say that we were go to this place. Um, the normal day on the East Coast doesn't start until later. It's like
No, so we
surf in the
talked
morning.
about it before Croatia. This should be like 5 hours ahead, which for me is like right in that wheelhouse of like my optimal work day. If I'm being honest, like we've talked about before, getting up, having that whole morning to enjoy the day, get a little lunch, and then you start your work day. You have a little dinner while you're working. You wrap up a little bit later at night. I'm always up that time anyways. 10, 11 o'clock at night is absolutely nothing for me. And you're done.
Yeah.
You even have a little bit of time, honestly. If I'm me, I even have a little bit of time to just chill for a minute before I even go to bed.
And well, like I just told you yesterday, or I should say this morning, I went to, I got back at 3:30 in the morning. So, to me, I typically start my day a little bit later. So,
Same, I do too. I mean, for me, from like an optimal work schedule, being ahead like this is actually that's actually perfect for me. I like it a lot better.
well, you know what the good thing is too? It's like it does, in my personal view, one of the good things about being like, you know, more east, where the time difference is ahead of the East Coast time, is that because I'm not a morning person, and a lot of people are always looking for, they start at 7 or 8 in the morning, where it's almost like you can kind of get ahead of that because everyone's still asleep, get a lot of the things done before people even start the day, and then
I'm way ahead. I'm
yeah,
more productive.
yeah, and
Because with that big chunk ahead, I'm starting to fire away, checking some emails when I first get up around, that 8, 9 o'clock, which is 4 in the morning. So I'm actually already ahead, go off and do some stuff and come back. And now I'm starting again after I've already done stuff
mm,
at the same time that they are. Like, and then I got no problem working later at all. It doesn't bother me at all, especially during the week, just being on the routine, I already went out, maybe went to the beach, went to the gym, did some stuff. I don't need to fulfill the rest of my day. I already did it with activities.
Yeah.
As long as I get a great meal at night in that stretch when I'm working, I'm a happy camper for during the work week. What else do I really need?
Yeah, you guys, the people that are watching right now, do you guys have any thoughts about, us possibly going out to the Canary Islands? That was just a curveball. We're talking about Easter, and all of a sudden he's like, Canary Islands.
I didn't say anything. I didn't preface at all before we talked or anything. I was saving it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was just like we're talking about other stuff, and all of a sudden, Canary Islands.
I've already looked at this whole thing a whole bunch when I was just aware.
Sofia says, "Hola chicos, saludos. Espero que hayan pasado una felices Pascuas de Resurrection." So, happy Easter. Gracias. Tú también.
Oh, Sophia, happy Easter.
All right, I have to now I have to put on my translation hat here for a second.
So, anybody out there that's listening, anybody out there that does watch this in the future, have you been out there? Have you been to Tenerife? Are you a digital nomad out there? Have you just traveled to the Canary Islands in general? I don't know. I'm thinking about a lot of people. I don't know a lot of people that have actually traveled to the Canary Islands. I don't think it makes a lot of people's list for some reason.
Well, it's different. You know what I mean? It's just like I said. It's not far off of the coast of the main African continent. It's not too far off on the northern part. So you're on the you're close to the Western Sahara, and then you got that other part of the west, which is Morocco, which is just the Sahara Desert, and then it's just a patch of several islands. It's like I said, I think it's pretty fascinating that there are quite a bit of inhabitants, at least on the main island. The other islands look like they're not as inhabited, but it'd be worth seeing some of those places.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is I got the word earlier and started doing the research. Let's see what Pat said about it. I know he mentioned something about the Wi-Fi and different stuff a little bit there from what he read from that Reddit thread, which the digital, if anybody out there, if you haven't checked it out, the digital nomad Reddit thread and the one bag threads on Reddit. There's a lot of junk on Reddit. There's a lot of garbage stuff. You agree? Those two threads, they stay pretty on topic. They definitely follow along with a lot of the stuff that we do. They're actually really good threads. You'll catch a lot of good information about what's going on the ground, different places, Tenerife that you've never thought of before. It's a pretty cool read. I highly recommend both of those. Talk about a lot of different, on the one bag, talk about a lot of different gear for optimizing that one bag solution. And not just BS either, but people that are actually out using the stuff, have tried stuff, found out what works. Some people take it to the next level where they only buy stuff that all use the exact same charger power cord. If they got electric, this, and this, they all got to be this one, because they all use the exact same, voltage and AC and charger. So they only have to bring one cord. Kind of makes sense. I can't really argue with that methodology. But they really go in depth with it.
Well, I think I don't know. See, that's another thing to consider, right? Because in some areas they use 220, right? And then on top of that, the plugs are different. So that's one aspect where you need a step down transformer. You start dealing with a lot of different things like that. So I do have one of those universal plugs myself, but not particularly a transformer. The good thing with things like the laptops, that big brick that comes with the cable for power. I mean, those they're rated for 220, so 120, 220. But you're gonna need a plug to be able to run it. So it's one of those. And I believe the small transformer that the iPhone comes with can actually is stable at 220. I want to say I remember. Actually, I'll look at it right now.
So this was kind of some of his highlights from earlier. on the Reddit thread, somebody was saying they have a 3-bedroom for 350 euros a month on the coast there, which 350 euros is about 700 bucks or so, 750. If my math is correct offhand. Yeah, about 750. US dollars on the coast there. They keep mentioning Tenerife, Las Palmas, which is the big island. Apparently there's wicked good food, tropical weather, ton of, I'll leave that out. And a ton, he actually said that they keep saying on the Reddit thread, there's a ton of co-working spaces there actually.
Which makes sense.
So, and then all over cater to the digital nomad community owned by Spain. You said it's wicked. You said from what you've seen, it's wicked modern, so reliable Wi-Fi and everything. Yeah, it keeps popping up a ton. Insanely good reviews on that thread, and that thread is pretty. That's a pretty reliable thread. So I'd want to do a little more research, and I definitely want to look at some more pictures. But you know, we can chat about this one.
Yeah. So just a quick update. So the small transformer that connects to your USB to your iPhone, if you have one. I have an iPhone 6S, so it's fairly old, but the rating on it, the input's 100 to 240 volt with a 0.19 amp. So it's low amperage, but like I said, I remember seeing it earlier, but I wanted to confirm it so that so if everyone's wondering about power usage for items, it's something that you do have to prepare for if you go to a country that does not use 120. For instance, like that was the good thing about Ecuador. They use I think the A and the B plugs, so you don't have to switch. And that was part of the reason why I picked Ecuador as a place to stay in the first place, because if someone is you know wants to get involved with a lot more traveling, but they don't want to kind of deal with some of the issues that might not that you might not be aware of kind of early on, but the electrical power, the types of plugs. Like I actually just checked a moment ago, and I'm gonna have to confirm with Skyroam, the company that I use to actually that's how I'm streaming this video, is the 4G hotspot hub that I have. I saw that it doesn't have the Canary Islands as part of where the services
Really?
are. So I'm gonna contact them, and maybe it might fall under like Spain because it's a Spanish territory. But
Yeah, they might have just included as Spain and not even mentioned it, not even called it out.
yeah, so that might be the issue. So that's something, at least for me, one of my action items as far as after today's video is being able to do that. But I'll be honest. I mean, that definitely got me excited because it's just different. Like I'm sure the Canary Islands is going to have a combination of maybe they're going to have a lot of Middle Eastern people there too because of because
Oh,
of
we absolutely could.
because of the
Yeah.
proximity of the location. So
And then I'm assuming that, the infrastructure wasn't built up there a long time ago. So a lot of the infrastructure and stuff that they've been building for the community, and especially if they're pushing a digital nomad community, it's all going to be really new, which means you're going to be having reliable power, Wi-Fi. Like I expect it to be really stable. From what he said, he looks at modern. I'm going to try and pull up a lot of pictures and see what other info I could have. But yeah, just like you said, I don't know. When I first saw it, like it just hit different. I still want to absolutely go to Puerto Rico, but this one
it's just
for
different. I
like
mean,
that, something about it. Just I saw the picture, I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
well, if they're at a volcano, I wouldn't doubt if they were using geothermal energy. Um, you know what I mean? So they probably don't have coal or anything. I think they might be just using geothermal. So,
Oh, if they use, I mean, if they're on the volcano, they're geothermal. Like, yeah, they have. And if it's a newer power grid, we're in about power. If they just ran, if they didn't have stuff set up before, because it's probably going to get modernized, post Spain, post other locations, they probably have fiber optics run.
yeah.
Given the time that they would have gotten started, it's probably going to be newer fiber optic lines, better than the ones I have out my door. They're probably going to have better lines over there.
Yeah, I would. Come on, guys. If you could help us out here, if you think the Canary Islands is a good idea. I mean, right now I'm thinking it's looking pretty awesome. As far as like a place to go. but it's one of those like if I'm gonna go to a place like this, I think I'm gonna want to use up my whole like 3 months, just to spend like a decent amount of time there, just
It's a 2 monther, right? If you at least or so, like it's a little bit
I
you want to spend there.
I don't think a month is gonna do it. I don't, especially since if you think about it, right, the first day you arrive, you're gonna be jet lagged, you're gonna be tired, you're gonna want to relax a little bit, and then it's gonna take like a day or two to kind of adjust to the different time
Frozen.
zone.
Oh, there he is.
Um, yeah, I don't know if you heard that last part, but like I said, one of the things that I think that's going to be interesting is, like I said, it's going to take at least a week to kind of just settle in, and then at least,
Going ahead took me a little while to get used to.
yeah, and
I was fine. I was just like getting up at like 7 or 8 in the morning was like unreal. Like it was like, it was so tough. Like I just adjusting, moving ahead in time was actually kind of hard on me.
yeah. So like I said, it'd take at least a week, right, to adjust. But then we also have to consider like upon our return, right? So now we have to adjust to the new time zone coming back. So I feel like a month is just not going to do it because now there's like I like to think of it like there's a 2 week adjustment period for the time zone. It's one thing that if we were going there for work, and we're going to only be there for a couple of weeks or something or a few days, but this is
I'm
like
not
a
a
long term.
I'm not a big fan of the 1 month stays overall. I don't mind them, but you really start getting that maximized, right? Like at the 2 month mark, whether it's, just because overall cost, you're distributing the cost of the plane ticket over the course of days that you're actually there for, right?
Yeah.
You got to be there at least a month if you want to get a legitimate price on an Airbnb. If you look at the price of like day-to-day Airbnbs as opposed to like the month ones where you see people giving 50% discount on month stays, like it's just not even close.
Yeah, and that's one of the great advantages, staying at a place longer, and it really, you really do save a lot more money with travel if you can do it, right? Because of those discounts, especially since for a person that owns an Airbnb, the income that they get from Airbnb is not going to be intermittent. They don't have to keep changing a lot of stuff all the time. It's less of a headache.
Service fee, the cleaning fee, all this other baloney. Like, yeah, they just like anywhere else. They want if they can get a nice block of a month booked. Like generally speaking, there's such better discounts on it.
So yeah, we're looking for you guys to help us out in regards to, if the Canary Islands is it might be on your wish list. Maybe, you know, maybe you guys are considering some type of travel like that. I certainly didn't, you know, have that in my purview, but Cruz brought it up, and I think that's one of the great things about doing things live that you actually get our real impressions as they happen. And it's as I said before, like sometimes the production side of it is can be improved, but at the same time, I'm not faking what I'm saying. Like, hey, this it hits different. Like when you look at it, you go, wow, that could be a very interesting, just a different setting. Even if it's a Spanish speaking place, they're gonna have a different dialect because, like I said, where they are geographically right next to the western, literally 100 miles from the coast of Morocco and Western Sahara. So, I mean, that in itself sounds just very interesting. On top of just
This picture is
being in a being at a volcano, island volcano, like that's just that's adventure. That's adventures leveled up right there.
I'm scrolling through some of the pictures on Google. Oh man, this. So you can see the cities on the coast, super modern, yet built up. You know everything that you're going to need, and then as soon as you start going away from them, it just turns into tropical nothing.
Yeah, that looks well. They have a lot of what are those wave barriers and stuff. mean, it looks like it's a pretty well developed, to be honest.
No, the towns on the coast are super well developed. Super, super well developed. All the resorts. So it's going to be like, from what I'm telling, judging by the pictures and what I've heard, you're going to get that being in the city, everything that you need for, that optimal travel life, great Wi-Fi, your coffee, your grocery stores, all the awesome stuff and infrastructure that you really, really need. And then you leave like 15 minutes outside and you're just, in this absolute lush, gorgeous, gorgeous place.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the pictures and like, man, that's really cool. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, and for a lot of people that know me, I know Cruz knows me. I like the cold, but there's something about just when things are warm and you're wearing a t-shirt and shorts and it's just like and sandals.
You know what? Give me a little hot cocoa. I'll snuggle up in a lodge by the fire all day. But day in and day out, yeah, give me that tropical weather. Don't.
All right, I'm gonna put that as a definite list. So now we're a minute over the hour. Now, is this something that you're thinking of like after Ecuador?
Oh, this was my pitch for an instead of Puerto Rico pitch, potentially.
But
you hold a good point about the time change and the month range and everything.
Because if it's, to me, in my honest opinion, if it's something traveling like this, it's I'm gonna want to do 2 or 3. Just
yeah. So that doesn't, and I can understand that. Like looking at that place and the infrastructure, I can go chill there for 2 months. I won't be upset about being there for 2 months.
So,
at all.
I'm willing to hold off the anticipation. Whether it's like I come back to the U.S., I finish the things that I'm doing, but going out to the Canary Islands for like a solid 2 or 3, minimum 2 months, and then 3 months, and then well, I'd be heading back to Ecuador after.
You come back to Ecuador, yeah.
So
yeah, we can hold off on that.
That's what I'm. That's what I'm thinking of. I don't think a month is really gonna do it for me. Is
do it justice.
Yeah, like if I gotta hold off, if I gotta hold off for Puerto Rico, I would do it for a longer stay at a place that's just really different that I've never been to. Where I get that extra excitement because it's a completely new place, and then like I said, now we do things on the weekend. We try to hit that summit, on the volcano, which is, like I said, you're right on the coast. It'd probably be like a whole weekend thing. So,
well, think about if you just want to try and shoot over to one of the other islands for a little bit, or this or that.
Yeah,
you do that. You do the volcano. Maybe one weekend you just chill and you're just swimming and go out. You hit another island. You can rack off without even. I haven't researched a thing about the place, right? And I can rack off 4 weekends worth of random stuff just from the topographical map.
Oh yeah. Like I said, just looking at the volcano, it's right there, And then that's one weekend. Another weekend, going surfing. Another, you could, and that, yeah, that's already 2 weeks of activity.
Whatever this little island right here is, right off the coast, that has a national park here. A weekend boat trip to that. There's probably some ferries or something going back. Ding, done. One of these other islands, La Palma, another boat. The other island, another boat. We got 5 weekends. I don't even know what's on the islands.
But Sophia wrote about she's waiting for June for our vacation. So
that's going to be fun, Sophia. I'm waiting too. I hope you're excited.
Yeah, we actually. So just a quick roundup before I go. This will be my last thing I say because we are running a little bit later here. But one of the things that we're planning, again, anyone that's interested in going, The first portion of the first week of the 2 week vacation is going to be in the mountains. So we're going to have our hub spot to be Quito, hit places like Mindao. I was just about to speak it. The possibility of going to Pachincha.
English.
Yeah, no. Um, so the first portion is going in the mountains, and then the second portion is going to be we're going to finish off at the Galapagos, and then from there, uh, like my mother, possibly her husband Ron is going to be heading back to the U.S. And then you and Marianita, I go back to Santa Elena, and then it's pretty much it. So it's going to be the 2 weeks are going to be like a vacation where we're kind of rushing all different places, but I think it's going to be a pretty good hub spot. So starting the mountains first, just because I think it's going to be physically, it's going to be much tougher. When we arrive, and then we need at least a day or two just to acclimate for, doing any, sightseeing and stuff like that, just to calm down the lungs and whatnot. But otherwise, the general vacation setup is itinerary is the mountain area and then the coastal area, and then however
Sure.
long you and Pat are going to stay down in Mananita, which you're probably going to want to live there just because of what that place is like.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's still in. We should be staying on the coast there for a good little bit. That'll probably be our first spot that we land and shit.
Yeah.
Stuff.
But hey, thank you guys for joining us. Like I said, that was a pleasant surprise with Cruz sending the whole Canary Islands thing, and I think that might be a good opportunity. We were talking about trying to get to Puerto Rico in the next couple of months, prior to Ecuador, but considering that he threw this curveball, and I'm going to take a swing at this and be like, hey, I think the Canary Islands is good, but I just don't think that 1 month is going to be enough to enjoy it, and that we should probably consider a much longer trip, and that'll help the people that I coordinate with here, like what's in store for the future as well, or
Sure.
so that I can help prep for the long travels. So that's where I'm
Yeah,
at. I
so
don't know where you're at.
Oh, that's fine. I just saw it and I just immediately fell in love with it. I'm completely still on board with Puerto Rico for this next upcoming, wrap stuff up. My general feeling is that we're probably both going to be around here all through April, squaring up stuff, right? All the stuff that we got going on, squaring that up, and then heading down to Puerto Rico for about a month, the month of May or so.
Yeah.
Is kind of what my general feel is.
Yeah, I'm trying. So yeah, for me, it's like next week. I'm gonna get a better after this week's over. I'm gonna get a better read about how I can get things accomplished, because a lot of it is prep. And there's a number of times I do have to visit the offices to complete some work, but otherwise, yeah, it's I'm ready to get back on the road.
Yeah. No, same. I got a few weeks of stuff. I got to buckle down a little bit and square stuff up. I mean, if I'm being honest, I could get everything done in it wouldn't be all the stuff I want to get done. I could get everything done in 2 days, lock the door and walk out if I really wanted to. But over the next couple weeks, I really want to square some stuff up and everything. As there's a bunch of changes coming. And then I'm ready to get back on the road as well. We'll next week, once we get a better idea, we'll maybe we'll go over stuff about Puerto Rico and look at some places, look at some areas. Might want to be staying and everything. Maybe we'll go through some of the stuff live, talk about the different areas.
Yeah, no, like I said, if San Juan is kind of in the pricey end, which, like I said, I think there's quite a few expats, and I've seen advertisements for people like, oh, hey, we're gonna go to Puerto Rico. So it's like,
Yeah.
I feel like I was special thinking about those types of ideas, but apparently a lot of other people are thinking the exact same thing.
There's some all right. There's still some other places. Isabella's not too bad. A little down on the East Coast. There's a resort area. I forget the name, but there's a resort area down there. The Airbnb prices dropped a little bit. And actually on that East Coast, I think that's where it's on the coast where right closest to Vieques. That's where the bioluminescent is. And it's not far from San Juan and stuff, So as a main location, and maybe if we want to go into San Juan, you head into San Juan for the weekend and grab a hotel room for the night or something real quick. And it still is significantly cheaper because the price for the Airbnb is half the price of what it is in San Juan.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. It's always good to have just like kind of the settling spot, and then if we need to go to a place for the weekend, we can do it. It's not a huge
Yeah.
not a huge expense in the whole process.
You split a room for the night and grab something there and it's cheap and you go out or whatever. So you figure it out.
So open invite, guys. We're trying to get the stuff planned away. So the next few weeks, as we start unraveling and unpacking all these different ideas, we'll get closer and closer to finalizing what we really want to do. So be on the lookout. Thank you guys for joining us. Crew's always a pleasure. I know you're going to be working out. I'm going to go
Yes.
walk outside, actually look at the environment.